Howdy y'all, it is Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. It is time for the Adeptus Custodes Detachment preview. There was another one, I think, for the Assassins for the Imperium. But this is one that my friends actually play, and they're like, let's check it out. I've already talked with him a little bit, and John, this video is for you, buddy, because this is epic. This is cool. All right, so let's go through Solar Spearhead. Basically what I got from this was it's definitely more of a focus on their weapons, as in their heavy weapons, as in their vehicles and walkers. Pretty awesome stuff. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. Might as well. Oh yeah, there we go. Good stuff. Okay. Auric Armor. While an Adeptus Custodes vehicle unit from your army is at starting strength, unless it's a aircraft or battle shocked, add 2 to the OC. So they're wanting you to use your vehicles at full strength. You get to have better OC. Pretty awesome. But if it's a vehicle that's below starting strength, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. However, if it's a vehicle below half strength, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll and a rune roll of 1. That's insanity. So basically this thing is just amazing, but yet it's crazy all at the same time, because it's really wanting to just give you the vehicle's use. And apparently the Dreadnoughts have vehicle as well as walker as a keyword. Moritoi Ancients. So add 2 inches to the move characteristics of walkers, so the Dreadnoughts, and 1 to their advance and charge rolls. That's crazy too. This is really fun because it really changes the playstyle in a good way and gives you quite a bit more options for a different type of unit. But keywords here, there's a lot of rules to this because they're really changing things drastically in a way, and it's really cool. In the muster army step, you can select up to 2 Adeptus Custodes Walker models. So to your Dreadnoughts from your armies, the selected units gain the character keyword. And so they can be selected as your warlord now. So you can actually give them enhancements, which is really cool, that you can like design a Dreadnought and like name it for your own personal army. And now it could actually be a champion for your team. Like you'd be like, this is Dreadlord Gustavius from 5,000 years ago that's been interred in a Dreadnought for 3,000 years. And he is not happy, right? He's ready to go to battle. So let's look at these enhancements. Adamantine Talisman, 25 points. Adeptus Custodes model only. This is interesting. 3 of the 4 enhancements are just model only, so they can just go on anything that's not an epic hero that's a character. And this one improves the attack, strength, and damage characteristics of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 1. That's crazy. For 25 points, that does seem like a lot. But all of a sudden, you've got a Blade Champion that's doing a lot more. Just the +1 damage, when they already have usually 4 attacks or so, now they would have 5. That's actually a lot more damage than it looks like here. That's a lot. And plus more strength means they're going to get through easier too. And 1 more attack is always helpful. Augury Uplink, 25 points. Adeptus Custodes model, again, just model. The bearer has the Feel No Pain 5-up ability. Fantastic. So you could make a leader more durable. I love the fact that you can make a Dreadnought even tougher and just be like, yeah, good luck. It's not happening. You're not getting through here. Honored Fallen. It's an aura for 15 points. It has to be a vehicle only, so this would be a walker, a Dreadnought. While a friendly Adeptus Custodes infantry or mounted unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, each time a model of that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. That's an attack. Shooting phase or fight phase. Reroll a hit roll of 1. That's insane, because that's their thing. Like, they hit on 2s anyway, so any 1s are pretty hurtful with the Custodes because they're so small of a force because they cost so much. But if you make sure everything hits, then it doesn't really matter how small you are, because you're just gonna have all of your stuff hit. Crazy. Veteran of the Cataphractoi. Terrible name there. 10 points. Custodes infantry or mounted model only. So you'd think the leader, shield captain on a Dawn Eagle jet bike, or shield captains, blade champions, that kind of stuff. In your movement phase, select 1 Adeptus Custodes vehicle or mounted unit within 6 inches of the bearer until the start of your next command phase. That unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. So if you want to actually get it out of melee for some reason, which honestly, if they're the bikes, I don't know why you'd want to, but maybe you needed those weapons to take down something on an objective. I don't know. But getting a vehicle out of uh, uh, close combat, pretty good, especially the big tanks, Cladius tanks. Those are probably one of their only things that I can think of off the top of my head that doesn't have a very good offense in melee. So yeah, then this is good stuff. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's cool. I'm terrified and I'm really excited for my friend. Like, John, this is awesome, man. We talked about it. I was like, dude, wild. All of these cost 1 CP. These stratagems are pretty cool too, for the most part. Flawless construction. When your opponent's shooting phase, in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, so they've selected, and then you select one Adeptus Custodes vehicle from your army, like the unit that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks, until the end of the phase. Each time an attack targets a model in your unit, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness of your unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So it's a little bit of a defensive thing, similar to something that the Necrons got in theirs as well. Pretty cool. It's good. It just helps defensively protect and keep your stuff going for longer, which is what you want with these guys. Okay, Emperor's Vengeance. When, during the fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, target one Adeptus Custodes unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. This is the fight phase, though. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, roll a d6, adding 1 to the result if your unit has the Walker keyword. On a 4 up, do not remove it from play, so it would be a 3 up for a Walker. 50-50 shot for infantry. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. When doing so, it is assumed to have 1 wound remaining and is then removed from play. And I appreciate that they said that because, like, I think walkers, like the Dreadnought, may actually get some downgrades once they're wounded. So this is good, and it's going to be interesting for a Dreadnought. You probably aren't going to use it on them as much, but it could be useful. I'm sorry. My phone just started talking. Okay. So, yeah, pretty cool. Wrathful Advance. When the fight phase just before an Adeptus Custodes unit from your army piles in, and you target that Adeptus Custodes unit until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a pile-in move, it can move up to D3 plus 3 instead of just 3 inches. So it could be 6 inches. It could just be 4. This is one of those that isn't great, but in that specific situation where it might be useful, this would be crazy. Just then you go, okay, now I've got one more person with an axe or spear into the melee, and we're going to make sure you go down because I've got an extra 4 attacks. That kind of thing. Or 2 characters, right? Like, or 2 infantry. Pretty big deal. It is a big deal in those right situations when you really need it. Pretty nice. Okay. Unstoppable. When, the start of your movement phase, target one Adeptus Custodes vehicle or mounted unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, models in your unit can move horizontally through models and terrain features. This is nutty, especially, I think, honestly, for the mounted units, because the bikes are fast anyway, and so they could move through the thing that was trying to screen you from being able to charge, fire at the thing behind them, and still charge the thing that they want to charge after the fact, or fire at something else entirely. This is really cool. Like, this is amazing. It's terrifying, honestly, because all of a sudden you're going to have jet bikes in your back line really, really fast. Terrifying stuff. Cool. Good for the Custodes, bad for everybody else. All right. Relentless Persecution. When, during your movement phase, just after a Custodes vehicle from your army advances, target that Custodes vehicle. Until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced. If your unit has the Walker keyword, until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. So you could advance and shoot with a vehicle, but if it's a Dreadnought, you could advance, shoot, and still charge. So you'd shoot something a little further away and then charge the thing that's close to you. That is wild. Wild. This is just insane. Punishment inescapable. It's funny, though, that advance, though, you still have to do the roll, but it's an extra inch. Could get you where you need to go for that firing. But if you get that 6 inches, all of a sudden you got a lot more options. Pretty cool. All right, when you're shooting phase, punishment inescapable, 1 Adeptus Custodes unit, so it's anything potentially from your army that's not been selected to shoot this phase. Okay. Till the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have the ignores cover ability. That's fantastic. And until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to that attack's ballistic skill characteristic and or any or all modifiers to the hit roll. Thankfully, it's just for firing phase, but still, like, that means your tanks are going to just be like, I ignore cover. You don't get a -1 to the wound because of your abilities. I am going to get you, and that's the reality of this. Overall, I think this is a nasty detachment that's really cool and really changes some of the play style of the Custodes to really encourage you to use the tanks, the dreadnoughts, and I love. Oh, let's look it up real quick. Telemon Dreadnought. Is this right? Yeah, this is the one. Let's just look it up real fast. Like, this is one of my favorite dreadnoughts I've ever seen in the game at all, ever. Is this the right one? No, this is not it. I do like that one, but it's not quite that. The Contemptor Dreadnought. That, I don't know, something about that just totally, I don't know, it just sings to me in the right way. Like, that's just pretty. It's simple, and in its simplicity, it looks great. It just looks good. Like, now the Contemptor Dreadnoughts can be played and really feel like they're going to be effective, and they could be a leader for you, giving out an aura or something crazy like that. What was the aura? The aura was interesting. So yeah, it had to be a vehicle anyway. They can reroll a hit roll of 1 while they're near him within 6 inches. Honored Fallen. It's like, so you have one that's up front, some dreadnought firing like crazy with the Feel No Pain 5 up, and then you have the Honored Fallen that's supporting more so your infantry to make sure that they, or your jet bikes to make sure that they get, because they'd also have 2 inches to your move characteristic. It was just fun. All of a sudden, I think Custodes kind of went into a shooty faction instead of just a melee faction, and I like it. Like, they always shot, and their shots were effective, but there weren't very many, and yeah, their melee is where you got in melee, all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm hosed against the Custodes melee. But now the shooting phase with the options here, because the Cladius tank, if memory serves, was pretty good anyway. And now, whoo! So yeah, this is the Solar Spearhead Detachment. Really cool, really nice. Will you be playing this as Custodes? Because I know I would if I was Custodes, because I like the vehicles, and I love that Dreadnought. Contemptor Dreadnought is super cool. John, I'm not gonna lie a little bit. There's just a small temptation to get Custodes just to play Contemptor Dreadnoughts for this. Just saying. I might. just itty bitty. Just because that's cool. That's all. That'd be my first human faction. Crazy. Anyway, what do you think about this Solar Spearhead Detachment for Adeptus Custodes in Warhammer 40k? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerdom. Take care, y'all. Bye.